What makes an anime series unique? Implementing things that were never seen before? Presenting an idea that no one has cared to present before? That no one has thought of before? I'm really not sure what it means for the anime to be unique, because I like to think that unless it's completely generic, it is unique, in one way or another. Still, I'm sure that most of you can agree that when you witness something unique, be it something that you have never seen before, something that you have never cared about or thought of before, you notice it. You feel it, if not understand. One series in my recent memory that made me feel this way is an anime about two middle schoolers playing at an arcade. And that's it basically. I mean, one of them doesn't talk, but that's not the gimmick of the show. High Score Girl is really hard to recommend. Not because it's bad, but because it's hard to find the right words to make it justice. It's no surprise to me that I've never heard anyone talk about it. The only time I've even seen its title is when I was reading Watamote and it was very vaguely referenced in one of the afterwords. So going into it, I obviously did not expect anything special. Watching it, I did not notice anything special. And having finished it, I still don't think there's anything special about it. What am I even talking about? The show, in my personal opinion, is a 10 out of 10. But it will take a little bit of explanation, and hopefully it will all make sense in the end. So stay with me for a second and listen to what I have to say about High Score Girl. It's a series you'd want to give a shot. First thing that you'd notice going into this anime are its visuals. If there was one word to describe them, I'd say felicitous.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I had to look it up. Well chosen or suited to the circumstances. At first glance, this is nothing to write home about, and clearly this was never going to be a selling point of the show. We all know that a lot of people actively hate and despise 3D animation when it comes to their beloved Japanese cartoons. For reasons. Since cheap used 3D has stalled the excitement of many anime fans throughout the years and is known for being used as a cheap alternative, but this has nothing to do with the High Score Girl. At the very least, that's what I like to believe. Gotta admit, saying it slightly feels like a glazing, but watching this anime never once have I thought it looked drawn or lacking in any way. Now for why that is, there are a few reasons. First great that saves the show from being instantly disregarded by many is that it's not fully 3D animated. The show does not scream bad CGI, the show does not scream low budget, the show does not scream cutting corners. It looks just fine, at the very least. Another important thing that elevates the show from looking just fine to looking pretty good are characters. Characters in High Score Girl are all consistent. Haru is like this, Akira is like this, Koharu is like this, Mio is like this, everyone's simple. Everyone's normal.
Hey, Yaguchi, once you're in the gondola, let me see if your penis really has a bone in it.
Everyone is normal. Like any real human being, their emotions are limited to who they are. Therefore, their facial expressions are also limited. I know it's fun to see those stupid, silly, goofy anime faces, and maybe even dream of having them themselves, because it's gonna be much easier to express yourself in true emotions sometimes, but in a story like this, these limitations are not a sign of weakness for 3D animation. It's actually a great opportunity to ground the viewer in reality with real, subtle, human emotions. Last but not least is creators' aim for this anime. Back in 2018, when High Score Girl anime adaptation started its release, there was a screening panel of the first episode at Otakon, and one of the questions that was asked of series representatives was, why 3D? JC Staff Chief of Production Division Matsukura Yuji gave a reply in which he acknowledged the use of CGI, expressed production team's love for games, and shared their intentions with this anime. His reply was simple and honest, and naturally some people would consider it to be a standard PR answer. I think that it's easy to believe that everyone around is trying to skimp and just get it done. But if that was always the case, there wouldn't be great anime that people all around love and watch. It's much harder to see the thought and passion that creators put into their work, and those same thought and passion are the reason why the show looks as good as it does. If Matsukura Yuji comes up to me and says, "We chose this style because it fits the idea of playing at an arcade in the 90s, I believe him. I believe because I watched the show with no prejudice and saw for myself how fitting and pleasing to an eye it was. Now that's enough about the visuals, because what's more important about any story are the actual contents of said story. So, what even is there to like in High Score Girl? It's a story about Yaguchi Haru and Ono Akira being two geeks, just playing games at the arcade in their free time. Story about a boy and a girl bonding over a shared hobby over some arbitrary time span. Yeah, technically speaking, it's a rom-com. Rom-coms are great and all, but I feel like calling this anime just that is low-key an understatement to what it truly is, and that is no shade to romance comedies. I love watching those, but if we're being honest, only a few of them truly stand out among the lump of misunderstandings, fan service, and constant stumbles, slip and falls. The shows I'm referring to are shows with good and proper writing. Some of those lean more into comedy, some lean more into romance, some venture into drama side of things, and some manage to keep a good balance between all the aspects. But one thing in common between all of this anime is that their true beauty and dedication put into them can be seen all throughout. High Score Girl is one such anime. To prove it to you, I'd like to look at the entire show from the perspective of Akira's character, since she is the main driving force of this story, and at the end of the day, she is the High Score Girl series title references. A big part of her as a person is that she doesn't talk. When someone doesn't talk, like at all, not on some introverted shit, but when someone does not say a single word, there are gonna be questions about reasons for such behavior. But not in here. Akira doesn't talk, and that's that. Before watching this anime, I could not have imagined this could be even possible, because there's gotta be a reason, right? We can't just ignore it. Is she mute? Does she have a communication disorder? Does she happen to be comedic relief or some side character who's barely in your presence? Is that her gimmick to stand out among 100 girlfriends? Is she a demon? I don't know. Akira is just a normal girl who doesn't talk. And it feels totally normal. It sounds pretty simple when I say it like that, but I think that in reality there was a lot of work put into creating not just this one personality that feels natural, but the entire narrative that makes her feel completely in place. You'll get what I mean in a second. The story of High Score Girl starts with Haruo and Akira meeting at an arcade by sheer accident. It just so happened that this little gremlin faced against this little princess in a match of Street Fighter 2. After learning that this girl from his class can not only get perfect scores on their tests, but also get perfect scores beating his ass at an arcade, Haruo gets his pride shattered and sets his eyes on becoming Akira's rival. From here on out, these two nerds spend more and more time together, playing and discovering different arcade games. With such a seemingly simple premise, the story could go in many different, yet at the same time similar direction that most of the romcoms choose to go, but Akira and Haruo decide to keep it real. These two are just gonna play games.
What are you staring at?
When it comes to sharing a hobby such as this, you get a lot of opportunities to get to know the other person. In case of Akira who doesn't talk, it might seem to not be so easy. And it isn't. To actually notice and understand all the different changes in her behavior, you need to really care for the thing that you're sharing, and pay close attention to the person you're sharing it with. Both of these things Haruo does. It's pretty straightforward. The boy wants to become a better gamer than the girl, and the girl enjoys sharing games with the only person she could share them with. It works not because she doesn't talk, it just does, and it fits her perfectly. Same sentiment could be applied to basically any other part of the story. Be it romance, comedy, drama, or even just other characters. High Score Girl is written in a very conscientious way that allows for all the aspects of it to work in a great harmony with one another, and let Akira stay her usual silent self without making it strange. This anime does make you question the fact that Akira doesn't talk. It does make you question people's motives when not necessary. It does make you question why Haruo and Akira grow closer, even without events like Summer Festival or Valentine's Day. It does make you question whether a shared interest stays very relevant and interesting until the very end. It just makes sense. Even the fact that this little princess can get a little savage sometimes did not bother me. You know how in anime a lot of girls beat the crap out of boys without a care in the world. I've never understood what's funny about it, or how any of the boys survive these murder attempts on a day-to-day basis. But in case of High Score Girl, Akira using her fist has genuinely only bothered me once, and that was the very first time we met her.
I did it! What are you?
Hey, what are you kids doing?
Yeah, getting heated over a game and fighting it out IRL might not be the most reasonable thing to do. But since then, I've not only learned that getting physical against your Street Fighter 2 opponents is apparently a normal occurrence in arcades, but I've also learned of Akira herself. Akira doesn't talk, but the only one who can understand her thoughts and feelings can do so through playing games, running fades, and a little bit of looking into facial expressions. I enjoyed this anime a lot, and looking back at it, I was struggling to understand what made it so good that I had to rate it 10 out of 10. Yes, I like what it looks like. Yes, I like the characters. Yes, I like the setting. Yes, I like the humor. Yes, I like the writing. Yes. Wait, isn't that enough? Having strong basic qualities that can describe any great anime is obviously important. That's what makes the anime great. But is it really what makes the anime a masterpiece? One thing I noticed after watching quite a lot of anime is that there's a big difference between 9 and 10. This big difference is always something that's hard to describe with words, and I'm sure it sometimes varies from one person to another. But one thing we can all agree upon is that it has to make us feel something significant, something unique that no ordinary anime can. Talking about High Score Girl, I've already mentioned that there is nothing special about it. The right thing that makes this anime stand out for sure. It's an amazingly written show set in the 90s that masterfully uses CGI to its advantage, presents a quiet character in a way never seen before, and says it will build a story around arcade games. But that's all to say that it's a rom-com with two middle schoolers bonding over some games. This all-around great show might ultimately not be unique, yeah, but I felt that to me, this masterpiece of a show is definitely one of a kind. But anyways, I just want to talk about it.